Hello, everyone. Today I'd like to get into one of my more personal peeves against capitalism. Though it's kind of a long story, but I'm in a storytelling mood. When I went to high school, I grew up being mocked for being really androgynous and effeminate and all that. And after my graduation, people were still very frequently confused about my gender. What with my voice and my face and my physique and even my demeanor. So naturally, I assumed that my testosterone levels were very low. But when I first went to see a doctor about getting blood tests done, my tests actually returned showing that my testosterone levels were dangerously high, at a whopping 1,200 nanograms per deciliter, coupled with really high levels of prolactin to add confusion. So, and I would guess they were much higher when I was still going through puberty. Like, if a normal man ended up with that amount of testosterone in his body, like the amount that I started with, he would have been admitted to a hospital because it can cause serious harm and even death. And I didn't go through a whole lot of acne. In fact, some of my female peers suffered it worse than I did. This didn't make much sense to me with this blood test and this other stuff until I learned about a condition called mild androgen insensitivity syndrome. Because one of the symptoms of mild androgen insensitivity syndrome is that your blood will contain excessive levels of testosterone, though, or even because your body might be unresponsive to it. So, when I asked my doctor whether or not I could get tested and diagnosed, she said that it would make sense if I had an intersex disorder. But in order to be sure, I had to get genetic testing done. I spoke to a clinic that handles genetic testing on patients, and I kid you not, they said that it would cost around $400 an hour to even speak to someone merely about the prospect of getting tested. But I needed to know. I needed to know the truth. To this day, I can still only suspect that I might have mild androgen insensitivity syndrome, but I simply I simply can't afford to be sure. Just so everyone is aware, a lot of people, like me, may possibly be intersex via technicality without even knowing. Though it is generally expected that intersex people are born with ambiguous genitalia, you technically don't have to be born with ambiguous genitalia to qualify as intersex. And I got to thinking that maybe if people did know, then maybe they and the people they know wouldn't be so silent about genital mutilation against intersex people, even in so-called developed countries. It's not okay. Intersex people have the right to be open about themselves and their existence, and they have the right to not have the truth systemically hidden from them by a society that refuses to acknowledge their existence, especially those who suffered genital mutilation. It's fucked up. And of course, they absolutely have the right to genital integrity, just like anyone else. And the unreasonably exorbitant costs of testing and healthcare and sufficient education are part of what prevents us from learning the truth about these matters and acting on it. It really sucks. I guess you could say that that trans and intersex rights are deeply personal issues for me, and capitalism doesn't help with that. If anything, it can only propose to inadvertently or even deliberately cause more harm. Anyway, I guess that's one of the very personal issues I have with capitalism. Basically, that it prevents us from learning and more importantly acting on the truth and like providing people with the rights they deserve like anyone else. I hope you enjoyed this video. I guess it's kind of brief compared to my other ones. I actually like that about my videos, honestly. Have a good day. Really, please, have a good day.